What's up, friends? Welcome to Web3 Academy, a place for entrepreneurs, creators, and marketers to explore and learn how to use Web3 to transform business models and create thriving communities. Enjoy this next episode.
GM. What's up, Web3 doers? It's Web3 Academy, the weekly roll-up. We got a big one today. As always, I'm Jay Hamilton, here with my co-host, Kyle Rehead. What is up, Kai?
What is going on, my friends? We got a big one today, and I'm excited to have a lot of things to talk about that are not related to the markets. So close your trading view charts. We're not talking anything about markets today. I'm excited.
It's building season, baby. It's time to focus on getting down to the real work. Nobody needs to sit and look at charts anymore. It'll just depress you more and more, although it's nice to see the markets stabling out. So as always, we like to start with a little gratitude, share our appreciation for life and everything that we have. Kyle, why don't you go first? What are you grateful for today?
I am grateful for Jay Hamilton and Sam, soon to be Hamilton. Tomorrow is Jay and Sam's engagement party. I'm heading to Toronto actually today, not too long after we record this, and to see Jay. And they're going to have this beautiful engagement party at their parents' house. And I'm super excited to see you. I don't even remember last time I've seen you, Jay, in person.
It's true.
But for this event and for your guys' love and everything you're sharing. So I'm grateful for you too.
Thanks, man. Man, getting married is a ton of fun. It's a lot of work though. Planning these parties. Geez, like, and it's a lot of expectations. You got parents' expectations to manage, and everybody's got an opinion. And it is so much fun to. Everybody's so excited, and there's so many opportunities to bring your friends and family together, which is just the most important thing in the world. So excited to see you too, man. Yeah, you're right. We haven't seen each other in a while. I feel like we should like film a slow motion run and hug towards each other.
What are we, Ryan and David from Bankless?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What about you? What's your gratitude?
I am grateful for the people in Web3. I was just at NFT NYC last week. We have a super active Discord at Web3 Academy. I'm probably on 4 to 5 calls a week with builders and people in the space. And I've never found such a friendly business space, and I'll air quotes business space. Everybody in Web3 is so friendly and so nice. And there's not that competition that you get from a lot of older industries and older businesses. Instead, everybody just wants to work together. And there's this incredible culture of do good and make the world a better place. And I think that, crypto and NFTs, quite frankly, and the whole space often gets categorized by the media as scammers, and everybody's just out for the money. But when you're here and you're in it day to day, man, it is the coolest people that just want to do great things in the world to make the world a better place using this technology. And it's amazing. It really blows my mind how friendly and nice and positive everybody in the space is. So shout out to all of you.
How long do you think that lasts for? It's a new industry, so I feel like that's why. I want to believe it's the Web3 ethos, and like this sticks for forever. I'm sorry, I'm a realist, and I don't think it does. I think once we get accepted, this is my guess anyways, once like Web3 becomes like norm and mainstream, it gets competitive as hell. But I don't know, we'll see. I hope not. I hope we can keep these vibes. I mean, it's on us, right? It's on the people that are listening to this podcast that are in the space now, because we are the first, I don't know, few million that are a part of this. And we are the ones that get to choose kind of where the space goes. But I feel like humans are humans, and it's just the way that it always works.
Yeah, I can't deny it. On your parade. But I think we've got runway. We've got runway.
Yeah, we got time.
you know, at what point are we going to get to 1 billion users, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
is that the point at which, like, I don't know the exact, you know, measurement of when that will happen, but I would say we've got time.
Here's
We
our
got some good
mission,
runway.
Jay. Let's try to achieve all the things we want to with Web3 Academy before this industry starts to shit the bed. And then we can like do our thing, make our mark, make our impact, and then we can get out before everyone starts to get angry.
But we got to stay in and be the people that are leading
right.
the positive side, the collaborative side.
Yeah.
Because man, like, it's so fun to be able to meet somebody on Zoom or in Discord or in person at a conference and feel like you can openly share anything with them. You can talk about your idea. You're not worried about them stealing it. And you can also talk about working together without that like first question that's always there, which is like, well, how much money are you going to pay me?
Right.
What's in it for me? Right? Instead, it's like you can remove that what's in it for me question or need. And instead it's just like, yeah, let's jam. Let's build, let's play, let's do something. Like, you know, it's like two kids meeting on a beach and then all of a sudden you build this dope sandcastle just because it's fun, right?
Right.
It's all just build
That's
sandcastles
actually
together.
I love that. And actually, two people from Web3 Academy Discord, our community, reached out this week to say that, like, hey, I want to help Web3 Academy. They're now part of this kind of insiders crew where we're helping to take Web3 Academy to the next level, which we'll talk about probably not in this episode, but maybe next week. And both of them said, look, we don't even care if this makes money or when it does or whatever. We just want to build and do something cool. And I think that's amazing. But on that note, before we get in, we kind of got off topic. Today, guys, we got a lot of cool things to talk about. We got a new phone, a Web3 phone coming out with Solana. So we got to talk about that. The Norwegian government is using Ethereum. So that's super cool. Doodles too. It's shipping season. There's so many new launches and we're going to talk about a bunch of new tools and protocols and things, which is really exciting. And then a lot of big Web2 names are moving over to Web3. And so we're going to share some of those as well. And then we have our Web3 tool of the month. So lots of really cool stuff happening on this show today. I'm excited.
Thanks for bringing us back to the summary of the show, Kai. I skipped that one.
I got you.
You got me. See, they got collaborative, supporting each other. Kai, as always, I ask you every week, what is the Web3 word of the week?
And the Web3 word of the week is ship. We are shipping. It's shipping season, as you said at the beginning. I got a feeling that the next like 3 to 6 months, I mean, honestly, probably much longer than that, but I think it's starting now, is like everyone over the last year has been building, right? We got so much funding last year and it takes a while to ship your first product. And I think we're starting to, I mean, this last week, there's so many new things that came out and so many announcements of things coming out soon. I think we're entering this space or this season where just like every week there's going to be new protocols, new apps, new tools, new features. Instead of like last year, it was like new NFT projects and new tokens, but with nothing behind any of it. Now I think it's tools and protocols and apps. And that's super exciting. One, because that's what we like to talk about. But two, that's what's going to build the foundation of this industry. And so I hope that's the season we're in, but it looks that way, which to me is super exciting.
I think the other thing that's really exciting is it is a great time to ship, which I think a lot of people might not see it that way. They might say, oh, markets are down, it's a bad time to ship. You know, we're not going to get the revenue or the boost that we're expecting off the hop. But if you ship right now, you're shipping to the real believers, the people in the space that are excited to test, excited to try your product. And that is the best time to ship, as opposed to shipping at a point when, like, you know, in a bull market, you know, you ship, you're going to get a lot of speculation involved, right? You're going to get a lot of people who are just jumping in and jumping out. And that's not what you need in the beginning. You need the feedback, you need that test loop. So great time to ship.
It's not about shipping tokens. It's about shipping products right now, right? Ship some damn products, people, because that's what we need. We don't need more tokens. We need products, services, all these things.
Hell yeah. Quote that. We don't need more tokens. We need more products. Well said.
Right. We'll tweet that.
All right. Starting us off this week, our boy, Kevin Hart for real. He 36
million followers, Kevin Hart.
Huge. Kevin Hart is going down the Web3 rabbit hole. He's jumping in. If Kevin Hart is jumping in, everybody should be jumping in. He's definitely going to push a lot of his 36 million followers, many of whom I'm sure have not gone down the rabbit hole, into the space, which is really exciting because we need more people to go down the rabbit hole. He also announced that he's got a Discord that he's launching.
Yeah,
Classic.
and he's launching a metaverse, or he's building a metaverse. I don't think he's launching anytime soon, but this is basically what he said. It's funny. He says, "I've been building in Web3. Come join the Discord." Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I mean, look, he's got 36 million followers on Twitter. He's a mega star, and if he's building a Web3, this is going to be really good for the space. Cool to see him launching a Discord. But if you need help going down the Web3 rabbit hole, which Kevin Hart probably does, and so Kevin, if you're listening to this, I'm a big fan of yours. Some of your movies are kind of weak, I'm not gonna lie, but you're getting better. But your comedy is awesome. We just launched, Kevin, the Web3 Rabbit Hole course. And this is a free course, okay? And anyone who is a subscriber to our newsletter or has signed up on our site, which you can do at w3academy.io, you just go there, sign up for the newsletter, whatever. If you're already signed up, you already have an account, and you can just go and take this course. It's free. It takes you about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And basically it will get you up to speed on all the foundational components of Web3 so that you can confidently build, work, or use Web3. And basically what it covers is, what is this space? Like, what are the foundational changes to the internet? If you want to scroll down a little bit, Jay, it talks about the current state of Web3 infrastructure. So not like super technical on blockchains, but it does kind of give you a deep understanding, kind of high level of what you need to know about this stuff and kind of where you want to be building and looking, and just try to understand it. And then we look at the future of Web3. So the application layer, how the adoption is going to emerge in the UX and things like that. And then I give you some final steps at the end of like, how to keep going down the rabbit hole and some action steps. So here's some things that you can do. Anyone who completes this gets to mint their own NFT. It's a non-transferable NFT. We've got it up on the screen here. Jay's showing on OpenSea, but it's basically like a proof of completion. And so you can certify that you completed the course. There will be added bonuses and benefits for those who do have this, whether that be in Web3 Academy or from the outside Web3 ecosystem. That's one of the cool things about NFTs is they are interoperable with others and other protocols. So yeah, go check it out. It's free. Just go to w3academy.io and either sign up for the newsletter or there's a rabbit hole landing page and you can sign up there. It'll get you the newsletter and get you access to the course immediately.
And Kai, who would you say this course is for?
Yeah, good question. So it's not your basic intro, though it is like explained and taught in a simple way. It's not your like, here's how to get a MetaMask wallet type thing. And it is a deep understanding of what this space is, what it means for the internet and where it's going. And so really it's, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a business that's trying to understand what to do in this space or like what's happening and how this might disrupt your industry, especially if you're in an industry that has a lot of intermediaries and third parties and middlemen, then definitely for you. It's for creators, so you can understand where you should be creating and what you should be doing. And really anyone who's looking to get a job in this space, I think this is really the ideal course. If you understand what's taught in this course, you can go in and probably have a better understanding than most people, even in this space. So it's a wide range, but it's sort of like anyone who wants to go down the Web3 rabbit hole, it's confusing as hell out there, right? Like Twitter, everyone's debating shit. YouTube is all a bunch of lies. Everyone's chilling their bags. Google doesn't really help you that much. This is sort of like, from being down the rabbit hole for many years, I wanted to just make sure everyone's on the same page of the foundational stuff that you kind of need to know. So yeah, check it out. And then also in our Discord, there's a rabbit hole channel where you can go, you can ask questions. There's already people that have taken it, even though it's just launched. I mean, this is the first time I think we're announcing it, but people already got in.
It is.
So I don't know. Anyway, check it out. It's cool. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, this was one of my biggest takeaways from NFT NYC was we all need to take a pause and learn the tech. We need to learn the foundations of blockchain and the technology that is allowing us to build Web3, right? To build this digital ownership, to do NFT projects, to build cryptocurrencies, to build DAOs. But so many of us, and this is why I think this course is so important for, I think, everyone in this space, right? Like, I think right from beginner to expert, this is the foundational lecture series of the philosophies and the base layer of the technology that you need to understand in order to then go build and do in the space, not to invest, not to buy, but to like do and build.
It does kind of help with that too, but it helps you wean out the crap. Like you can after you take this, you kind of like can just go, no, that doesn't fit what Web3 is really doing. I think it just helps you kind of understand that, which is nice.
Well, links will be in the show notes. Jump into the course, hit us up with any feedback. Really, really excited to launch this. It's free, as we said before. Everything in Web3 Academy is free because we're just trying to build and grow and be part of the space with you guys. So really, really stoked about that. Let's get into the news, Kai.
One day we are going to charge for something though. Right, Jay?
Yeah.
Are we going to build a business?
I would assume so, but we're building a business the freeway right now with a ton of time, but we'll charge for something so we can continue to build the community and continue to grow.
So get this stuff while it's hot, while it's free, everyone. All right. So this is my favorite tweet I think I saw this week from Ryan Selkis. And he just says, my thoughts on crypto market in one slide. And the title of the slide is Despite Setbacks, Crypto is Inevitable. And it breaks down 6 different, categories of crypto here. But it also says, what is this? Talent, thousands of new hires. So over the last year, we've had thousands of new hires into the space. Capital, tens of billions of dollars came into the space. And ultimately, it's creating a generational change. And the 6 things that they've kind of utility, I guess, or innovations already that have happened is 1, Bitcoin. It's legal tender for emerging economies. And they have the El Salvador and what is that country in Central Africa? Something it's called.
I can't remember, but
I don't remember. But anyway, it's a country in Africa. Sorry, I don't know the name of it. If someone wants to tell me, that would be amazing. So we're already seeing legal tender of Bitcoin. Stablecoins, the settlement volumes are already rivaling the incumbents, and they have pictures of like Visa and that. So that's pretty huge. Stablecoins has been probably the killer app of this space so far and will continue to be, especially once we get more regulation there. Computing, so Web3 computing protocols re-decentralize the internet. The internet was once fairly decentralized when it was first built. Web 2 kind of screwed that up. Web 3 is rebuilding, and that's using things like Ethereum and Solana and Avalanche, and even other things like Filecoin, etc. DeFi, the DeFi market cap is less than 1% of banks, and yet it yields higher and safer yields than what banks do. And I say safer, and I mean that for only some DeFi protocols, not all, obviously. But some of the examples I have here is Uniswap, Aave, MakerDAO. I think that's Yearn or Synthetics, and I don't know, Compound. NFTs offer 10x creator incentives and user IP rights. I mean, it's just amazing what NFTs are doing across every industry. And so they have the NBA is getting involved in the Sotheby's. They show CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Sandbox, and I don't know that last logo. And then the final one is DAOs. DAOs can scale entities at internet speed. And I think that's just a great way to explain a DAO, scaling at internet speed. It's really, really cool. So just, a lot of really cool unlocks that happened from that original bull run there. And I just think we're going to see so much more happening over the coming years. So really cool image. Next up, this is pretty big. So European nation is embracing public Ethereum, and that's the Norwegian government. And what they announced is that they are releasing a solution on the public Ethereum blockchain, which is a cap tables platform for unlisted companies. And they're doing this on a layer 2 on Arbitrum. So been saying, where are the big companies? Where are the nations going to build on? They're not going to build on these like fast L1s. They're going to build on the future. If you go into the rabbit hole course, you will learn. And the Norwegian government building cap tables. I had no idea what a cap table was. So I had to Google that before this show. But basically
what's a cap table?
Right. So it's like, who's the shareholders and stuff of a company. I guess it's for private companies. So like we don't really have that. So who are the shareholders? And so you can put that on the public blockchain. And now you can see who are the owners of a company. And I assume if it's NFTs, which is, they're going to build as NFTs. it will eventually move into a way of you could, buy and sell these shares as well, I would assume, but we'll see how that goes. But just cool that they're already starting to build on there, and they're doing it on layer 2 of Ethereum, which is pretty sick. That's all really I got. I don't know much.
And I love just like to point it out, even though we pointed it out before, why use the layer 2 of Ethereum? And they say it right here. It's faster and cheaper to transact than Ethereum, but still gets the full security of Ethereum. So it's so simple that it's right in front of all of us, but for some reason we're slow to grab it, but we'll get there.
Right. So there's been some beef going on actually with the SEC for a long time in this space, and particularly with Grayscale. So Grayscale has been trying to move their, I don't even know what it's called, ET something. Basically, it's an investment tool that you can get on like your, in your bank account. It's not an ETF though. It is a ET something that they want to basically transition it into an ETF. Because right now it's at this extreme discount, and they've been trying to switch it into the spot ETF, which of course the SEC has continued to deny. And they just denied yesterday this transition into a spot ETF. So we can continue to only have a, what's the non-spot version? Futures ETF, I believe. Which is a bunch of bullshit. It means there's a bunch of middlemen in there making a bunch of money off retail. If we just had a spot ETF, it would be so much better. SEC won't pass that, which is ridiculous. And so Grayscale is suing the SEC. So we have a company that is now in a lawsuit. They did it yesterday. They initiated it yesterday against the SEC, which is friggin' awesome. And I'm rooting for Grayscale because SEC, you suck.
Well, and also like, this is how regulation happens, right? Like the way regulation happens is through the court system. Usually, like, I mean, it happens when, senators and bring bills and pass those and they take those through the process, but that takes years. The best way for regulation to happen is when like a new case goes through the court system. This is going to be the SEC against somebody, and it's going to force decisions to be made and precedent to be set, which is really a great thing. So shout out to the what do you call somebody that's like the balls on Barry here and Grayscale for taking the lead on this, because this is exactly what we need. Somebody to not be afraid to step up and take on a challenge, and it's going to be good for everybody.
Right. And if you're watching on YouTube, this is the smug face of the guy that runs the SEC, Gary Gensler, and who's actually like used to teach about blockchain at, was it MIT or Harvard or whatever, wherever he went. But anyway, he was on the news the other day and with Jim Cramer, and he basically said that Bitcoin is a commodity, which I mean, it's already considered this. So I don't know why he's always causing this FUD and whatever. And he did say, a bunch of people took this wrong on Twitter. So if you saw these tweets of like, Gary Gensler and SEC say that only Bitcoin is a commodity, that's just a bunch of Bitcoin maxis changing the words. What he said is that Bitcoin is a commodity and there are actually many others. However, I don't want to name any of them just because we already knew that Bitcoin was. We know Ethereum is considered one as well right now, or ETH. But he actually said there are others. So it's actually a more bullish statement, not just Bitcoin, but all the maxis out there went and changed his words. It was super annoying, but whatever. So that's kind of interesting, but just weird. He won't say it. Like he just like continues to want to like toy with this industry. He's a joke. I'll be honest. Gary Gensler, if you listen to this, Kevin Hart, I know you're listening still too. As you're going down the rabbit hole, keep an eye on this guy, Gary Gensler. The guy's a joke. If you see him at any of your rich parties, let him know that.
Watch out.
Get him, Kevin.
So Solana Labs is building a Web3 mobile phone. This is huge news, really exciting to see. The phone is going to be called the Saga, and it's an Android handset that will be built by the blockchain stakeholders. So really exciting to see. But what, Kai, like, what does this mean? I think a lot of people are missing the point of the fact that they're releasing this phone, which they're saying is going to cost $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000. And I mean, I'm sure the phone is going to take a while to release. I don't think this is going to be a thing that comes out right away, but there's sort of two like new, I don't know if they're called breakthrough technologies or not. I don't really understand what it is, but basically they're launching something called XNFTs, which we'll talk about. They're launching something else called SMS, which is not a text message, but a text stack. So I'm going to read out this thread because this Robin Cordini did a great job at this, kind of explaining what's going on here. So people talking about Solana releasing this $1,000 phone and having to take on Apple and Samsung are missing the point. Here's what's going on. Currently, applications that use Web3 or dApps are largely browser-based. So this might be a dApp for buying and selling NFTs or lending coins, you know, all the things that we typically do. But they are browser-based and interact with a wallet such as Phantom or MetaMask or whatever else. Being browser-based and having to make the user interact with the wallet massively limits the user experience. Compare this to experience to that of native apps on an Android phone or iPhone. So basically what he's saying is like, when you go to an app right now, you've got to connect your wallet in and sign some stuff on your wallet, whatever. But when you go to, like, let's say your, I don't know, whatever app, your Facebook app, it just signs you right in. You're automatically there because it's just native to your phone, right? But our dApps are not. And so to improve this experience and allow Web3 to start to compare to that of native apps, Solana is taking a two-pronged approach. First, to allow dApps to run inside a wallet, such as Phantom, these are the XNFTs. This allows improved UI on existing phones. So basically, the application is an NFT itself, and they're calling this XNFTs. Second, and I guess this XNFT is a way to sort of decentralize the application on a further like tech level. Second, to build Solana mobile stack. This is the SMS, which essentially makes the wallet into a layer of the phone operating system and allows dApps to run natively just as phone apps. These can be downloaded from a dApp store. So rather than Web3 with Solana Mobile, Solana has essentially created a new layer to the operating system and an app store like 2.0 with dApps that can be downloaded natively and do not need a separate wallet to interact with, as the seed phrase and all that is built right into the phone and the applications. The issue with releasing SMS on its own is that Solana then needs to convince a separate company to make phones utilizing it simply to be able to show off the new user experience of native apps, hence the reveal of a phone. And if you're revealing a phone to showcase new dApps, it needs to be able to play the latest, you know, play to earn games and be a phone people are proud to own and develop for. Like, you can't just, people aren't just going to buy a phone because they can do some Web3 stuff. And they're like, this is the most important thing that we all use every single day, right? So this is the halo effect that Tesla and companies use when they release high-end products first. So basically what's happening here is, one of the reasons is actually really important is, the app stores right now are kind of gating crypto. This is a reason why Web3 is not really mobile friendly, is because anything that has to do with tokens, App Store, which is from Apple, and the Google Store don't really allow it. Like OpenSea is an app now, but you can't do any trading or anything on it. There's a lot of mobile, play to earn games, Web3 games that can't be on mobile because it involves tokens. So they're sort of gating that, and that's a problem. And so eventually I think they will come around, but Solana's saying, screw that, let's just build our own sort of thing. And they're really focused on user experience here. If you've ever like used the browser inside of your MetaMask or your Coinbase wallet, that's sort of what's happening. So like you can go and use, you know, Lens protocol and Uniswap and all of that right in the browser of MetaMask on your phone. And then you don't really need to connect, because just auto sort of connects in. It doesn't have to take you out of the app to then go and connect you and click the button on MetaMask and then bring you back. It's sort of in there, but it's still browser based. It's not native to the phone. And so that's sort of what Solana is trying to unlock here. How far out are they this? I have no idea. They just announced it this week. But definitely like this is where the space is going for sure. It will not be these like separate, you know, internet kind of thing, which I was actually explaining Web3 to my mom, I think earlier this week or on the weekend. And after I was done explaining everything, she was basically like, so like, is this like a new internet? Like, how do I get to Web3 kind of thing? And I was like, no, like you won't even really know. You'll just be using it. And you won't even really realize. She's like, oh, okay. It was really funny, but that's really what Solana is trying to do here with this. Yeah, really, really cool. I think this is kind of the future of where we're going, and it'll be interesting to see this all play out.
And I think it's really interesting, brings up an interesting conversation around the need of hardware as well as the need of the software that we're building, right? And so, you know, really the reason Solana is doing this is because they need this hardware in order to show off this software and the potential of dApps. And that just isn't possible currently because, as you said, the two largest players in mobile right now are gating all of the dApps and not allowing, it drives me insane that I cannot buy, sell my NFTs on the OpenSea app. Like, it is ridiculous why I can't do that. Right. So, I think disruption 101 here, and shout out to Solana, like going all in, building a phone, building the hardware, and then in order to show off the software.
And I think this puts pressure. Here's the other thing, like maybe this doesn't work out and no one cares about the Solana phone, but it puts pressure on Apple, it puts pressure on Google. And as soon as they feel that pressure, they're going to go, all right, let's start allowing people to use Web3 on our phone, right? Let's be Web3 friendly. So, cool.
But I think this will still win in a way, because the one thing that I don't think that the App Store or Google Play are going to change is their take rate. And if they don't change their take rate, then they're not really supporting Web3 in the way that we've talked about. One of the biggest things that we said earlier on in the 6 disruptions that aren't going to change is the opportunity for creators to make 10 times what they currently make. So, I think that there is a long-term play here, maybe not for the masses, but for that early adopter group of Web3 that like really do care about the creators making more. And, Apple Store taking 30% of the apps that they sell, like that's a fucking crazy take rate. So
insane.
It's nuts.
Anatoly though, gangster, just says, screw it, we're gonna build our own phone. Love it. That's the founder of Solana.
Speaking about gangsters.
Great transition. GTA 6 to include a cryptocurrency reward system, question mark. This is not for sure. I have no idea. It just was kind of some rumors going around, but I was looking into it of why. Did you play GTA when you were younger, Jay?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. Played
game.
For like 12 hours straight one time, I think. Just got sucked in.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto is the game we're talking about here, and it's basically a game where you get to roam around different cities and do like missions, or you don't even have to do missions. You can literally just go and run people over and steal people's cars and get chased by the cops and whatever. But kick-ass game when I was young. I loved it. And but what I saw here was that in GTA 5, so the last one that came out, which was many years ago, I'm surprised how long it's been. But they actually started building in a stock exchange. And I can't remember if it was GTA 5 where you could actually use it or it was just in there. But basically what they were talking about is that they have this sort of like stock exchange in there where you could start to invest in companies, and then you could go and do missions to help these companies that you were investing in, or you could blow up these companies and things like that, which is kind of interesting, right? And so immediately you're like, oh, well, if they just made those things NFTs or, tokens, like that's really cool. There's also the whole idea of like you earn money and stuff and you buy things like clothes and things. Like there is no better game, I think, to embrace Web3 than Grand Theft Auto. You can NFT everything. You can have tokens for currencies and stock exchange, and you could do so much of this. It'd be so cool. So anyway, the reason why this leak is coming out is that I think what they are doing is allowing you to buy things with Bitcoin inside the game is one of the things. And then there's potential to create their own cryptocurrency. I don't know if they even their own cryptocurrency in there. And then potentially something with this whole stock market that's inside of the game. So again, it's just a leak. So I have no idea if it's true. Don't take this as gospel. But man, this would be the perfect game to do it. I would buy this game and shit. I'd probably stop. I think this would be the end of Web3 Academy.
you just go
see you later, guys.
Deep into the GTA metaverse and never.
And I'm not a gamer, by the way, but I used to be when I was young.
Hey, but maybe if this all happens, you talk about play to earn, like the potential of this, I do think is huge. And it's just so natural because GTA is a game that feels somewhat similar to the real world, right? Yeah. So yeah, let's do it. Let's go GTA. If you're listening to this, please go for it.
So down. Sick.
Okay, NFTs. What's going on in the world of NFTs over the last week? Tons of news because of NFT NYC last week. Lots to talk about there. First, I just wanted to talk about, I've got this chart up of from Trek X on Twitter, a great guy to follow that does a weekly recap of the NFT markets. And he highlighted that last week was the lowest volume week in 2022 yet, which was interesting to see. I mean, not a surprise given the bear market that we're in, but interesting to see given that NFT NYC was happening now, despite it being the lowest volume week. Most of the blue chip NFTs all saw about a 25 to 30% boost last week off the backs of NFT NYC and all the announcements that came out of that, which was super exciting.
Volumes are also down because ETH is like, half price kind of thing for what it was at the beginning. Well, way less than half price than what it was at the beginning of the year. So it makes volumes obviously cut a lot. But
yeah, it's a good point. So speaking of, let's just chat about some of the activations, some of the things that came out at NFT NYC last week. I would say the coolest activation was Cooltopia, which is Cool Cat's project. So this was awesome. Sam and I went to it, and everybody I spoke to there was really impressed with what they did here. Basically, they took a 30,000 square foot like warehouse space, fully branded it out, and turned it into like a gaming, almost like a Palladium or like a carnival experience. Art, like it was unbelievable. You walked in, you got a RFID bracelet, and then you could walk around and play different games, and you, with your bracelet, would tap things and you would get points. And then at the end, you could turn your points in for merch. So gamifying that. And then there was just really great to see these NFT brands taking their brand into the real world and really showing the potential of like where these brands can go. And it is just the beginning. The other thing about the Cool Cats experience, a lot of the NFT events at NFT NYC were gated to token holders only, whereas this Cool Cats one was open to the public. So also a great onboarding ramp of like, I saw, kids with their parents there. You've got people that are, jumping in and just, oh, this is a cool thing to do on a weekend. Great. Let's go check it out. Really, really impressive. The other funny thing I've got to mention is the brand of Cool Cats is just nailing it right now. They had a milk bar because obviously cats drink milk. So you could go to the milk bar and grab a glass of milk. They were serving other drinks as well, but just going to the milk bar and grabbing a glass of milk was hilarious to me. So shout out to Cool Cats. Well done on this. Really exciting to see what's happening. And I think, like I said, this is just the start. And it's a real realization, a lot of people talk about like, what are these JPEG projects? What are the NFTs really doing? Well, they're not just building these JPEGs and these digital products. They're also building in real life brands, which is like t-shirts and toys. Cool Cats announced that they were launching a toy last week as well. It's just so much happening that I think has just as massive potential as, they're not NFT projects, they're businesses, and very large businesses at that.
Yeah, it's exciting to see which NFT projects are going to make it through the bear market here. And so another big one, I mean, we also had Board Ape Yacht Club obviously ran Ape Fest at the same time as NFT NYC. And so another big in real life event that was going on. They ran a full on festival. I think like Eminem was there and Snoop Dogg. And,
Eminem was there. Snoop Dogg was there. Eminem and Snoop Dogg launched a music video with their Bored Apes. Like tons of
things are happening.
Tons of stuff happening. Lots of influencers. Yeah, it's super
and so
fun.
Doodles also made some announcements at the at NFT NYC as well. One, they just did their first fundraise, and they did it with the creator and founder of Reddit, which is super cool. Alexis Ohanian. Is that how you say his name? Ohanian. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. But the other announcement, which is even cooler, is that Pharrell Williams joins their team as a board member and chief brand officer. I couldn't think of a better person to be a brand officer for an NFT. That's sick. Pharrell, big fan. So that's cool. And then they also announced Doodles 2. So this is kind of cool. So basically a doodle for everyone. They can mint a base level doodle. You get to choose, it's like a dynamic NFT. So you get to choose your generic traits. You get to choose your skin tone, your hair color, and customize your doodle with wearables. And depending on what you buy, there's different tiers and things like that. But yeah, super cool. Let me see what else. Doodles 2, a dynamic NFT where you can change your look as often. Yeah, you can change as often as you like. So it's not like you make it, you mint it, and that's it. You can continue to change it. And you can get the full body one, or you can get the PFP version. And you can put music behind it too. So it's kind of incorporating everything, but super cool. I love it. And then it looks like they're going to have some utility beyond it. I just don't know exactly what that is. And they're going to have other wearables and things. So are they going to create a game next? I don't know. They haven't really said what comes from this, but just a lot of branding and a lot of IP they're creating here that you can do some cool stuff with.
And I think one thing that comes up a lot is digital identity, right? That's we talked about digital identity on a podcast that we recorded earlier this week with Evan McMullen, who's the founder of Disco XYZ. That podcast will be coming out next week. Check that out. We weren't talking about PFPs and NFT projects. We were talking about, 2 weeks from now, we were talking about more the tech layer of digital identity. But what NFT projects are doing with digital identity is they are giving you this profile picture or this avatar that you may use in the metaverse in the future. And I think that we haven't really tapped into the potential of that, right? Like, I think we're seeing it in crypto Twitter, where if you float around crypto Twitter, majority of the profile pictures are some NFT project. And Doodles realizes this. Doodles realizes that people want to have fun with their digital identity. And so they're creating Doodles 2 so that you can create your profile picture in a cute, colorful, fun way that represents you. And it's dynamic. You can change it. You can make it who you are. And that's a really big part of the digital identity layer of Web3 that I think that it's a big onboarding ramp that a lot of people are going to get excited about, because right now, and Doodles talked about this as well, one of the big issues is a Doodles the floor is like 13 ETH, right? It's like, that's not accessible. If you want a Doodles as your profile picture, like you spend $20,000 to get that as your profile picture. No, most people aren't going to do that. So
I wish that's
this is also worth. What's that?
Said I wish that's what 13 ETH was worth right now.
Yeah, my math was probably a bit off. I was probably doing Canadian dollars, not American dollars. But yeah, I think that that's another big part of these projects is they're all trying to figure out ways to open up more access to a wider market. And I've also just got to shout out Doodles because their branding is so unbelievable and appealing to, I think, what I believe is the widest audience out of all the NFT blue chip projects.
Times Square coming to the metaverse. So this is cool. So basically, Times Square is building a metaverse in Sandbox. It'll be a virtual hub for arts and commerce curated by.
Pause for a second. Times Square. It sounds like you're saying Times Square in New York. You mean Time magazine?
Time. Yeah. Sorry. We're bringing. But they're creating a Times Square. So like what you see in New York City, they're creating that in the metaverse, right? But yes, it is by Time, but it's essentially a virtual hub for art and commerce curated by Timepieces, which I think are an NFT collection that Time launched. I think last year they did this. So they're building the Times Square inside the Sandbox. So that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, I think that Time has been a real leader from the media side of just jumping and experimenting. And this is what we keep saying is, and it's ironic that this is built in Sandbox, but I think we all really need to look at Web3 as a sandbox right now. And I don't mean Sandbox the metaverse. I mean a literal sandbox that you play in when you're a kid, because when you look at it as a sandbox, then you tend to focus less on building the perfect thing or building the right thing. You just need to jump in and try to build a sandcastle and see how it goes. And maybe it doesn't work, but you learned because you tried. And then the next one you build is even different and better. And Time has really shown that by jumping in, and just by participating, they've created a large following. They've grown a ton in the NFT space, and now going in the metaverse space. Yeah, kudos. You don't necessarily need a strategy. Just get in there and just play.
Just do. All right, next up we have our boy Brad or Bradley.eth from Lens Protocol. And great tweet. And I actually didn't realize this either, but his tweet is, people don't yet realize that at Lens Protocol, it makes the process of creating and minting a collection of NFTs just about as easy as posting a tweet, right? Select your collect rules, upload the artwork, post, and monetize your content immediately. And that's really cool, because if you ever tried to mint an NFT, I mean, it's not the easiest process in the world. But again, sort of Lens is building that layer above that makes it that much easier, where you don't need any code. And like he said, it's about as easy as doing a tweet. So that's pretty cool. And this is a new, I don't think it's launched yet, a new application coming to Lens Protocol. So speaking of Lens, but this is basically like a LinkedIn that is being built on top of the Lens Protocol social graph. So you would use your Lens profile. And again, why create a different profile for Instagram and for your LinkedIn account? Just create one, but maybe what you can do is share certain attributes of your profile depending on the application you're using or the application that someone's coming in. And so now you can have your LinkedIn version where you can get jobs and get your references and all that kind of stuff. And then you can do your, your fun stuff over on Lenster. So that's cool. This is called Orb, I believe is the name of it. Yeah, Orb. So yeah, one of the cool new apps coming to Lens.
Another cool project coming out because it's shipping season and everyone's launching right now is Astaria XYZ. And Astaria XYZ is an NFT lending protocol. NFT lending is a big thing that was talked about a lot at NFT NYC. There's a lot of players in the space basically trying to figure out, you've got these NFTs that are sitting in your OpenSea. They're worth, $100,000 or even just a couple $1,000s. Well, can you get yield from them? Can you do lending with them? How does that work? And so what Astaria is doing, which is interesting, is currently the NFT lending model is a peer-to-peer model, right? So users, you request a quote, you leave, you come back. It's a high touch model, right? Like you need interaction one-to-one, which isn't scalable. What they are doing at Astaria with what they're calling the 3-actor model, 3AM, is it's a peer-to-pool model. So an appraiser creates a term sheet that contains the collateral, which is the NFT details, and what terms they're willing to lend, such as rate, duration, amount, and position. And then the term sheet is then Merkleized, and the root is sent to a transaction that opens a broker vault. And the broker vault acts as a pool for lenders and borrowers to access. So just a scalable model coming to NFT lending. NFT lending is super nascent, and I mean, like this whole industry. So lots of things that I think that we're all just learning about. And I actually don't even know anybody who's used any NFT lending protocols, but it's amazing to see the shipping that's happening and the developments happening in the space, because clearly we're going to want to lend and stake and do different things with our NFTs the way you can with DeFi and crypto.
The merge of DeFi and NFTs, I think, is really cool. I'm just a little bit scared. We don't need any more leverage in this ecosystem.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely coming, and there's going to be some cool stuff with that. Absolutely. Bueno means good for anyone who doesn't know in Spanish. What is bueno, Jay?
Bueno is basically an NFT generator platform. So if you want to create an NFT collection, you can use Bueno. It's no code, and you can create a 1,000 or a 10,000 PFP collection. I think this is really great for the NFT projects that aren't focused on art, right? So if you're not a project that's focused on art, if you're focused on utility, which, so many NFT projects are right now are really just membership based, right? And so they're looking to create these membership based products. And you actually see a lot of NFT projects where it is a one-of-one NFT, but the art is the exact same thing 1,000 times or 10,000 times. I'm part of a couple, I'm part of Zen Academy, and that is the case in that project. But the thing about that is, we talked about before about how important identity is, and people want to show off that they're part of these communities. And so you need a profile picture to do that, right? Nobody's going to use a basic NFT art for these memberships where it's like, it's not really art. They're not going to use that as a profile picture. So I think what we're going to see is a lot of these people that are creating businesses, not an NFT project, you're creating a business, and they don't have artists on their team, and they don't have the ability to, quickly create 1,000 PFPs. Well, Bueno is the tool that will allow you to do that simply and quickly.
Yeah, I've seen some terrible art. So hopefully this thing can at least create some like just decent stuff for those that don't really care too much about their art NFT. I do think you're right. Like, a lot of NFT is not going to be art. That's just a subcategory of NFTs. Yes. So we're in launch season, and there's a new one that was just launched. So Guild is this sort of like role and sort of tiered integration into Discord, and they've just partnered with Project Galaxy HQ. And basically what they're allowing for, or what they've just launched, is the ability to issue credentials about your activities and accomplishments of things that you do, let's say inside of a DAO or inside of a community, and it gives more context to your digital identity. And this can allow you to be eligible for rewards after gaining your sort of digital reputation. These rewards could be access in Discord. You can use them to create roles inside of a Discord, and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. I mean, I think one of the things we're trying to figure out is our Discord is getting quite busy, lots of people joining in lots of different areas. Some people are looking for jobs, some are developers, which, by the way, we now have a developer. Well, we've had a developer channel, but it's quite active now because we've got a developer leader in there, which is really cool. We have a dev role. And then, you might have entrepreneurs that are looking to build. And so you want to start to like segment and be able to speak specifically just to those categories of people. And so you can use credentials and things to find out who those people are, maybe who are like the power users in your Discord and your community, and give them certain access or certain roles. So yeah, you can do this with Guild. I think there's going to be tons of projects which link and integrate into Discord coming out. And frig, we need them, because I mean, we got this community, and I know a bunch do, and we need to figure out ways to better organize and structure them. So please, people, keep building.
100%. And if anybody wants to build a better Discord, that would also be super dope.
That
would be great. Okay, switching from Web3 launches into Web3 jobs, and really a migration of top talent into Web3. Who's moving over? Who is the Web3 world eating today, Kyle?
Well, the Web3 world, I mean, you want to go to that one. This is who's hiring, which we can do that first if you want. So
let's do this.
There was an article that was put out of like who's firing, who's hiring. We've talked a bit about who's firing, Coinbase and all that, but those who are hiring right now, so if you're looking for a job, FTX, of course, they're not only hiring, but they're buying everything in anyone, in any company. Kraken is hiring, like, was it 1,000 people or 500 this year? I forget. Binance is the one, they're hiring 1,000 people. OpenSea is hiring, I don't know how many, but they're hiring quite a bit. Everstake, Polygon is a beast. We're going to talk about them in just a second. Ripple, I'm not supporting Ripple. I don't know anything about Ripple, but there's a lot of FUD around Ripple, but I guess they're hiring, which is crazy. But anyway, Immutable, which is not on that list. But so lots of hiring. And again, if you're looking to get a job, you can check out our job board, and it's in the show notes below. That link in the show notes will take you to our talent board, where you can like sign up and make yourself a resume. But there's also a job board. You can click over to the jobs and you can see what's there. And also, if you're hiring, you can head over to our talent pool and subscribe to it, and you can find some talent, hopefully help you hire. But check this out. This is a graph of the tech layoffs from July of last year. So looking at a full year here, we were starting at, like, in July of last year, there was like 80 layoffs. That's it. I don't even know how they get that stat so small, but now just in June, so this month, and I guess June's not even over. So whenever this came out, it looks like June 28th, and it was already at 19,434 layoffs. And it shows all the list of companies with Tesla, Coinbase, Bybit. I don't know. I can't even see the rest of them there. IBM,
Microsoft.
Yeah,
Zoom.
all of them. So we are we are steadily heading quickly into a recession. And in May, we had 17,700 layoffs. Now we have 19,400. But thankfully, there are still many people hiring. You just got to find the right places. And yeah, crazy world out there right now, but hopefully that changes soon. But if we're looking at what's happening with some of the crazy hires going on in the space, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Jay, you and I talked about the former president of the New York Stock Exchange moved over to Uniswap Labs. That was a few weeks ago. So that was really cool. We also had YouTube's head of gaming that moved over to Polygon. Well, now we have the global head of product design for payments at Facebook moving over to Immutable. It's now called Immutable, not Immutable X. So the X is gone, but that's mega, right? Global head of product design for payments moving over to Facebook. We also have someone at Christie's. The name is, do you remember the person's name? You said it.
Non-fungible Noah is how I know him. Noah Davis. That's his name. Noah Davis.
There it is. He was at Christie's, which is like the big art auction house. And he's now working or just moved over to Yuga Labs to head up the project of the CryptoPunks. So Yuga Labs obviously acquired CryptoPunks many months ago. I can't remember when that was. And he's now heading that up. So he leaves Christie's to go to Yuga Labs. So that's pretty cool. So we're seeing a lot of big time talent in the Web2 world, in the old world, moving over to Web3. And that's good news. Good news for Web3.
Did you see how CryptoPunks pumped off of this news, right?
Well,
went from like 50 to like 70 ETH. But then there's some people that did some research and realized that a lot of that pump happened. A lot of people bought before this news was announced, and there was like speculation of insider trading and, you know, not to share FUD, but what's amazing about this is because of blockchain, you can see it all. It's all public and transparent, which is a great thing. So people will be held accountable for their actions. I would love to get a CryptoPunk someday.
One day. Is that the goal?
That's the goal.
All right. So on to the ones and twos. Lots of action happening here. As we said, it's shipping season, and I'll tell you who's shipping the most right now is friggin' Polygon. These guys have been just building and shipping like crazy. And so Polygon ships a ZK EVM within the next month. So I think it's happening on July 19th. And so basically this is a ZK is zero knowledge proofs. And so it's essentially a layer 2. It's a roll up that is EVM compatible. That's the key thing, meaning that whatever you have on Ethereum, you can just merge that right over to this, like this. Like it's very easy, very simple. So all the apps can easily move. What I'm told here is that you can think of this kind of like optimism, where it's a what's the word that I'm looking for, where like you can build many apps. So there's two different layer 2s that you can think of. There's one that's like app specific, where it's a chain just for an app. There's one that's sort of like global, and you can put a bunch of apps on top of it, like Optimism and Arbitrum. That's what this is. But it's in ZK form. And supposedly when they launch on the 19th, they're launching it with, I've heard rumors of Uniswap, and I believe MakerDAO. I think it was MakerDAO, maybe it was Aave, and some of the blue chips. But also it's going to be fully decentralized, supposedly. So right now, one of the problems with like Optimism and Arbitrum is that they're sequencers. So some of the things are still centralized and controlled by the entity itself, which is not great. Supposedly, and we don't know for sure, but that this is going to come out fully decentralized, fully ready. And this is going to be huge because it'll be the first zero knowledge ZK, other than, I guess, you could say Immutable is kind of this, but they're more meant for NFTs and gaming. But it'd be the first one that's zero knowledge that is like fully available and ready. So this could be big time, which comes July 19th probably. Then they've also launched Polygon Avail, which is essentially the data layer. So right now, if you are like a monolithic layer 1 blockchain, so something like Bitcoin is, or Avalanche, or Solana, etc., they kind of do everything all in one layer. So your security, your data layer, your execution layer, they're all in the same. And what Ethereum is trying to do, and others like even Avalanche is trying to build this out, and Cosmos and Near, and a lot of these, Celestia is one. These are all the ones that are going what's called the modular route, which is how most protocols tend to work that are underlying infrastructure like this, where you sort of break it up and have different layers to it, which is why we have the layer 1, layer 2. Well, basically, Polygon Avail is the data layer that they are looking to, they've just launched. And basically now it basically makes it where other blockchains who are building or other roll-ups who are building don't need to build the data layer. They can just plug into this one and they can just worry about their execution layer, which is really cool. And then this plugs into Ethereum L1. So we're sort of splicing up the different layers of a blockchain. And it allows teams to build like and focus on one specific layer rather than like every team has to build all of it. Like, let's share it and let's just create the best on different layers and then plug into them all, right? So kind of that composability aspect. And so that's what Polygon is launching here with Avail. And so that's super cool. It's go on.
Go ahead.
Just gonna say it's launching on testnet. It is not live on mainnet yet. It is testnet. Yeah. So that's where we're at there.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty bullish on Polygon. I saw Ryan Watts speak at NFT NYC. And the thing that is very clear is they are taking a long-term approach here and building the right way. They're not trying to go after the quick money. They are hiring some of the brightest and the best and building this. Again, why you should take the Web3 rabbit hole course is not so we don't talk about specifically what Polygon is building, but so you can understand the tech so that when we talk about these things in the news, it makes more sense. And this is really what is being built that is going to allow all of you to take your business to another level, to give digital ownership to your customers, to engage them in new ways. Shout out. Bullish on Polygon.
And Polygon, so you understand, is not just this Polygon like blockchain, like the proof of stake blockchain that we have. Like they're building so many other layers, like that ZK EVM I just talked about. That is its own layer 2 rollup that is owned and built by Polygon, right? We actually have the Polygon team, Polygon Hermes, which is another layer 2, or maybe that's the one that's actually launching on the 19th. I don't know. I think it is. But we have them, and then we have Polygon ID, 2 members from both of those groups coming on the podcast, like, I don't know, probably a month or so from now. So it's still a ways away, but we're going to talk about some of this technology. But like Polygon is way more than just one blockchain. They are building out scaling solutions all over layer 2s, data availability layers, like a bunch of stuff. Yeah, they're going to be a beast in the space, I think.
Yeah. No,
this is not financial advice. I have no idea how that value accrues to Matic, the token. I don't know, but they're doing cool things anyway. Speaking of doing cool things, Arbitrum. So I talked a little bit about this last week where I talked about Hot Protocol giving away POAPs and NFT giveaways to anyone who bridged using Hot Protocol over to Arbitrum. What I didn't realize is that Arbitrum's actually doing this whole little marketing campaign for 8 weeks. And so what it consists of is the first week, the week I talked about last week, was actually Bridge Week. And I love the way they set this up. So basically what's happening is they got in touch with all the, I don't know if it's all, but a bunch, which there's a crazy amount of bridges in this layer 2 ecosystem, but there's like 15 here just on this picture. And they all were doing different cool little campaigns where they were giving away POAPs, NFTs and things if you use their bridge and if you bridged over to Arbitrum. Well, then what's happening is the next week, which is the week we're in now, is you could call it like the utility week or the using week. And so all of a sudden now they have partnerships and a campaign going with like the apps that are on Arbitrum. And so the first week was bridge over, and now it's let's start using these protocols. And if you use them, you get NFTs or rewards or whatever, that kind of stuff. So it's all just incentivizing people to get familiar with these protocols. To obviously it's a campaign and it's competition, right? Optimism just launched their token. So they had a lot of people moving over there. This is Arbitrum firing back and saying, hey, we want you to come back to our layer 2 and bridge over. And so just a cool campaign where because this is all composable and this ecosystem is about network effects and, you know, all the apps that are on Arbitrum, if they do well, that means good things for Arbitrum. And if Arbitrum does well, that means good things for Ethereum, right? And so all of these sort of layers that are being built one on top of another are perfect partnerships for marketing campaigns. And that's exactly what Arbitrum is playing out here. So great job to their marketing team or whoever designed this one. I don't know, but check it out. If you go to, I think it's portal.arbitrum.one. I don't know if that's the site where you can see all things going on. But they're just doing a lot of cool events and stuff for the next 8 weeks, and you can win rewards. You can win NFTs and POAPs and a bunch of different cool things. So yeah, sweet deals. I think they actually like broke records for the most volume they had on Arbitrum just the other day. Arbitrum surpassed Bitcoin in fees earned, which is pretty cool. because they don't pay nearly close to the security that Bitcoin pays. So yeah, really cool
to
see.
Like all time, or just like yesterday,
just
like one day?
Yeah, it was like yesterday or 2 days ago. I think it was it was
Yeah.
just yesterday, I think, is when this happened. And I'm sure that doesn't keep up right now anyway. It's because they're running this campaign, but I'm sure that now the baseline goes up, and then, you know, as things continue to progress, that will continue to go up. So really cool.
Love it. All right. We've got finally the Web3 tool of the month. Drum roll.
What is it, Jay? What is it?
What is the Web3 tool of the month? The Web3 tool of the month is Ledger, the Ledger hardware wallet to keep your crypto and NFTs safe. Why did we pick Ledger, Kai?
Well, so I mean, one, Jay has been talking a lot in our Discord about security. We actually, I think, just created a stay safe channel just to help people not lose their tokens, not lose their NFTs. And one of the best ways to do that is good practices for your wallets. And Ledger is a hardware wallet. So it allows, basically what it does is you can still use your MetaMask and things like that, but you can put the keys of that onto the hardware wallet, onto Ledger. And basically what you can do here is, what this means is that people can't hack in your computer or, you know, whatever it is, and make signing transactions. You actually have to sign the transaction on the physical device in order for any transaction to go through. So it's just an extra layer of security by using a hardware wallet. I recommend everybody get a hardware wallet. If you don't have one, like, please just get one. It will save you. I promise. The amount of people that lose, like, you need to get one. You need to get one. And the first one I ever got was Trezor, which was kind of cool. That's kind of how I learned about it. But then I got a Ledger, and Ledger just is like, it's just so much better. They're innovating at an insane pace. They have, I think, 3 different versions: the Nano S, the Nano X, and there's another one that is coming out, or I don't know if it's out, but anyway, they're just doing some really cool stuff, and they work across all the different, I mean, you can use Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever else. You can actually use Ledger Live, which is their app that they have, and interact with a bunch of DeFi applications, which you can't do, I think, on Trezor. At least you couldn't when I was using Trezor. And so you can just do a lot more. You can actually make this your one-stop shop, essentially, for everything. So yeah, it's great. There's a link below to grab yourself a Ledger. And I highly recommend you check that out, because it's like this is Canadian dollars. It's kind of funny. $114 for the Nano S. I think the other one's even cheaper. Oh no, the Nano X is $199. That's what I have. It's friggin' awesome, and it's going to save you potentially so much. So get yourself a Ledger if you don't have them. Get yourself any hardware wallet. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, get it, because it's helpful.
And if you have any questions about security and safety, I think there's so much FUD around crypto, because unfortunately, when a lot of money flows into a new industry, it brings scammers and fraud and bad actors along with it, and they try to take advantage of opportunity. And so if you're not sure how to keep safe, one thing that I think we all need to start to practice is, it's like we've got our healthcare routine. Everyone's got their fitness routine, or you got your healthcare routine. Well, we need our digital health routine. We're all going to start to have to practice, what are the routines that keep our digital assets safe? And what does that mean? And so I think we're all figuring it out as we go, but we're talking about that a lot in the Discord. And if you're confused and you need help figuring that out, give us a shout. Happy to help anybody out. And if you have any ideas, also would love to collab, bring you into the Discord, do some chats, because everybody's trying to learn about this stuff right now.
Jay, is FUD your favorite crypto Web3 word?
I think friend is my favorite crypto Web3
Wasn't
word.
That Brad or Bradley's as well?
I think that was Brad. Yeah.
Okay.
I
said
Web3 friends
in this episode. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, it means fear, uncertainty, and doubt. If you want a quick tip, here's how I recommend you set up your wallets. Let's assume you use MetaMask. I think you can use Coinbase Wallet for this as well. But I recommend you get 2 MetaMasks. Okay. One, you don't link into your Ledger. Okay. You can also link into Ledger. To be honest, it doesn't really matter, but it's just easier. And this is the one that you use to, like, dink around and, like, play around with apps and mint things and do the things you're going to do. And then what you do is have another MetaMask wallet, which is secured by your ledger. And everything you do, any value you get, if you mint an NFT, move it over to your ledger. But your ledger should only ever, like that MetaMask that's backed up by your ledger, should only ever interact with your other MetaMask wallet. That's it. It never signs transactions, never does anything except for sending things or receiving things from your Play MetaMask wallet. Because that way, if you ever sign a transaction that is like, we don't really know what we're signing. It's the UX here is brutal.
Oh, so
sometimes
bad.
you could, right? If you get a phishing attack or whatever, or you happen to be on the wrong URL, you can sign a transaction that gives the person ownership of your wallet, and they can steal everything in it. And it's happened to so many people. And so don't have any value in that wallet. Use it to interact with things, right? And to do whatever, but then just immediately move it over to your ledger for the things that are just going to sit there. And then when you want to do something, you want to sell something, don't go and post it on OpenSea from your ledger, move it back to that Play wallet and post it from there, right? That's my recommendation. It'll hopefully get rid of a lot of worry.
100%. That's the, there you go. That's the digital health routine and best practices I'm talking about. Thanks, Kai.
That's the only one I got. It's my only routine that I have there.
That's great.
Got lots of health routines though. So I could definitely start. You guys want some health information? We can do that.
For those who don't know, Kyle used to have a health podcast, and
you can still on
health business.
On Spotify.
You can still health simple. Check it out. It's not producing new content, but
hasn't in years. But there are some great episodes in there.
There's some good stuff in there. There's
back in the day, I love that. But I'm happier to be talking about Web3. But maybe we should mix in some health stuff every once in a while. I mean, we got the gratitude, but
well, if you are in Canada, tomorrow is Canada Day. Happy Canada Day. If you're in America, next Monday is Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. If you're anywhere else in the world, happy whatever your country is. Happy days. Hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for listening, everybody. As we said at the top of the show, if there's one thing you want to take out of this show, go sign up for the Web3 Rabbit Hole course on web3academy.io. That's w3academy.io. And let's all make sure we know the foundations of Web3 so that we are building in the right way from the bottom up. Check that out. Have a great weekend.
And hit us up in the Discord and let us know your thoughts. It's our first course on this stuff. And we want to know what you liked, what you didn't like, and all that fun stuff. So thank you, friends. Have a beautiful weekend.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy. We hope this helps you along your Web3 journey. And if it does, please share this episode and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. By the way, if you have yet to join the Discord community, you are missing out. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we learn, where we ask questions, where we network. You want to be in there. The link to join is in the description below. And finally, a quick disclaimer. Nothing in this podcast was financial advice. Crypto and Web3 can be risky. You can literally lose it all. In fact, if you invest on account of what we say, you probably will lose it all. So don't do that. In all honesty, the point of this podcast is to remove the noise of markets and price and focus on utility and implementation anyway. So you should not take any of this as financial advice. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.